Here we are on the WEkEO homepage at wekeo.copernicus.eu. Um, and here on the Service and Tools menu, you can see the different tools of the WEkEO. And the first one is the data viewer. But there is another way to see these tools is by signing in. So you can create an account when you click on this button here on the bottom right. You have create an account. And you just have to fill in this form to create your account. Then you will receive an email to confirm the creation of your account. But here, obviously, I already have a WEkEO account, so I sign in. And now I'm reaching the WEkEO dashboard called My WEkEO, and we see all the WEkEO tools that are at our disposal. So here we have the data viewer, and I will do my presentation on this tool today. You can also open directly the data catalog here. So the data catalog is contained in the expert data viewer, as we will see in a moment. Then here on the right, we have the WEkEO workspace, which basically redirects you to the WEkEO Jupyter Hub interface, where you can run some present notebooks and where you can use available environments with pre-installed packages like the Harmonized Data Access, which is a package to download WEkEO data, and other tools to download and do some post-processing to the WEkEO data. Here we have the Jupyter catalog, which is also um, a place where you will find all the WEkEO notebooks that cover different use cases. Then we have the WEkEO Drive, where you can store and share your work with your colleagues. You have up to 8 gigabytes. Then you can upgrade your plan to get access to more advanced tools. And from your dashboard, if you scroll a little bit, you have access to the Help Center, which is a collection of useful articles where you can search for and find valuable information. And I will show the Help Center at the very end of today's presentation. So now I will click here on the data viewer on the Go button. When you reach this tool for the first time, uh, you will reach the light data viewer that you can see here on the top right. So the light data viewer is a quite recent new viewer. And a really recent new feature also is this guide tool. So basically you can, it will guide you through the functionalities of the light data viewer. So you can click on Let's Go here, and then it will show you, and you can interact during this guide tool to discover all the functionalities of the tool. But basically, it will show what I'm going to show you today. So I will close it for now. So when you are on the light data viewer, you can see here on the left the pre-selected key variables from different Copernicus services. So we have the Copernicus Marine, yes, Copernicus Land, Atmosphere, Climate Change, and Sentinel missions. You can open a tab by clicking here on the arrow. So here the default layer is the temperature, but I could click and I can click on velocity to visualize the velocity. And then there are some other variables. So I won't click on all of this, but for Copernicus Land, it's more about vegetation and snow, etc. Atmosphere, you have this kind of variables on the atmosphere, obviously. Climate change, you have these variables, and Sentinel, you have also, so you have 4 variables, pre-selected variables for each service. Then you have the Talk to an Expert button, which opens the widget chat that is accessible from any page of WEkEO at the bottom right. But I will speak about this widget chat just at the end of my presentation. And then you have this settings button where you can hide and show the base map and hide and show the coastline and reference features. You can also change the units and you have the credits of the tool. So when and once you have selected a variable, we can see the full name of the variable here at the top with the unit and the date where we are visualizing the data. Speaking of the date, we have here at the bottom the timeline. So you can click on this time bar to pick another date, and the data is automatically updated on the viewer. You can zoom in and zoom out by the way, on the map by scrolling with your mouse, and you can grab the map by can move on the map by grabbing it, like so. So here I have picked another date. For some variables, like here the temperature, we have also the depth scale. So I can go around 2000 meters, for example. Sometimes we have to wait a few seconds for the data to be updated. And normally we will start to see the bathymetry around the continent. Um, okay, maybe it's my connection, maybe it's because we are live, so I have some lags, but okay, so now we can see the bathymetry at 2000 meters. But let me go back to the surface, around the surface. Okay, um, here on the right, we have the color bar with which the variable is displayed. And we can click on this cog icon to change the color bar, like this. We have here on the top the opacity, so we can decrease and increase the opacity. And for some variables, you can also change the minimum and maximum value. You can also, here at the bottom right, change the projection. So we are here by default with the equatorial projection, but we can choose between polar and south projection also to work with, to better visualize, let's say, the Arctic and Antarctic area. So here is the Arctic area. I will go back to equatorial. And I think that's it for the light data viewer. So basically, it's a starting point for beginners to start exploring key variables of Earth observation data. But then we can go, and I will go on the expert data viewer here. And from there, I can access the full WEkEO catalog and not only visualize data, but also download them. So here on the left, uh, as the light data viewer, we have the layers, so the variables we are displaying, visualizing. So there are two default layers, the normalized difference vegetation index from Copernicus Land and the seawater salinity from Copernicus Marine. But if we click on this plus icon, we open the catalog. So here on the right, we can see that there are more than 400 datasets. We can, if we want, we can scroll from top to bottom to find our products of interest. We have here the name of the dataset. Just below, we have the temporal extent, and then we have the extract of the description of the product. There is a thumbnail showing uh, the an extract of the data, what the data is about, what the data is about. Here is the icon, this slash I icon. We can know that this dataset is not visualizable on the map. When a dataset is visualizable on the map, we have this icon showing also the number of variables contained in this dataset. And the star is to add this dataset to your favorites that we find here on the left. Speaking on the left, we advise to use the filters here to search for your product of interest because there are many datasets. So here, if we click on viewable, basically we will find only the dataset that are viewable on the map. So that can be really convenient. Then we have some featured dataset, the favorites that we have added. Then you can find the different Copernicus services, the different platforms, also different sensors, and the area and other useful tags to find your product of interest. So for today's presentation, I think I will go with the Sentinel-2 because if I'm not mistaken, Daria will take this dataset during this QGIS presentation. So I will take this one. When you are here, you can click on details to open the description page of the product of the dataset. When you are here on this page, you have here on the left the thumbnail. Then you have the temporal and geographical extent. You can click on Add to Map to add the variables on the map. I will do it at the end. And then for those who are interested in visualizing the data via the WebMap service protocol, you can click here and you can copy the WMS link. Okay, but now I will go back to the description. For some datasets, you will have some use cases present here at the top. So these are use cases that are using these datasets. So it can give you some ideas or inspiration to to know how to use these datasets. And if you click on this use case, you will reach a page on the WEkEO website with more details on this use case. Then we have an abstract, which is a description of the dataset, what we will find in it. And then we have some other parameters like the dataset ID, which is quite useful when we want to download data programmatically, or when you want to talk with us if you have some issues or questions, so that we know which dataset you are talking about. So the dataset ID is quite important. And then you have some other resources and metadata. Okay, so now I will click on Add to Map. And when you click on Add to Map, if there are several variables in the dataset, they are listed here. So we can add a variable. I will, for example, uh, pick the normalize difference vegetation index. Okay, so now it is added here on the layers panel. And as you can see, there is a sentence saying zoom in to view on the map. So basically the Sentinel data, you need to zoom in to the map to be able to view the data. And if you click on this button, normally the zoom level is enough to start seeing the data. If not, you can zoom in a little bit more. Um, Also, here on the left, you can hide and show some layers. So I will hide this, or even you can also remove some layers. So I will remove this one. But just to show you, we can hide and show a layers with the eye icon here. Okay, I will hide this one. And because I know that the Sentinel data is in the land continent, sometimes it's better to hide the base map. So like in the light data viewer, we can click here on the bottom right on settings and hide the base map. So I will zoom in a little bit and I will pick another date. Okay, so we start to see some data. Maybe I will unzoom. Let me choose a date where we can really see data. Okay, so because it is a Sentinel satellite, the data is displayed like tiles, with tiles, as we can see here. Okay, so now let me speak about the buttons we have here to customize how the data is displayed. Maybe I will just show the sea water salinity one back, just to show you that you can click here on the log. So it's not for every variable, of course, but when you can click on the log to display the data into a log scale. Then if you click on this cog icon, it's like the light data viewer, you can decrease the opacity and you can change the color map and you can change the minimum and maximum value. Then if you click on this button, it's really convenient because uh, it's, it allows us to pick another variable inside this product. So for example, here I have the seawater salinity, but I could pick the temperature, for example. So I don't need to open the catalog once again to add this variable to the map because it's inside this dataset. Okay, and maybe just to show you another functionality, if you pick a variable that consists in vectors, we have here this new button that appeared to show the vectors of the variable. So we are now able to not only see the amplitude of the values, but also the directions with the arrows. Okay, so I will go back to the default salinity. The I button simply opens a new the description page of the datasets. And then we have the download button here, and I will show you that in a moment. before that, I just want to, so let me zoom in a bit on this Sentinel-2 data. We have here, maybe I will go like this. We have here the object. So as in the light data viewer, we can also change from equatorial to polar north or solar south projections. We can also place a point like this, so we can see the coordinates. Also, if you place a point, for example, in a variable in the ocean like this from Copernicus Marine, you will see this graphics that automatically is displayed and that is showing the time series of this variable. Then let me go back maybe like this. We have the measure tool to measure the distance between 2 points, basically. And maybe the most important tool here is this set AOI parameter that allows to draw a bounding box like here. And then afterwards, we will be able to download data only inside this bounding box. And just to show you, because I'm here on the bottom right, here we have the help button, so the equivalent of the talk to an expert button from Light Data Viewer. Okay, and I will speak about that just at the end. And then the settings that I already have opened to show and hide the base map, and same for the coastline and reference, the units, the credits, etc. Okay, so let's say that I'm interested in the bounding box and that I want to download data inside this bounding box for the Sentinel-2 data. So I can click here on this button, which opens this download canvas, where we can see at the very top that only the fields that are marked with an asterisk are mandatory. So if there is an asterisk, you don't need to specify the parameter. And basically, we would recommend to first start with a pretty large query. So don't put too much constraints on your query at first, at least, because sometimes if you define too many parameters, the constraints are too many and it can yield to zero results. So for the first, for your first query, we recommend to only define the mandatory parameters. Here, the bounding box is not mandatory, but just to show you, I will click on copy AOI from map. So I could enter the coordinates manually, but because I have drawn the rectangle, I can click on copy AOI from map. And now I will download data only inside this bounding box. Then I will let all the other download parameters by default, or not specifying anything. And just I will maybe choose a start and end date. Here you can click on copy from layer as well. So here on the bottom, we are on the 7th of March of this year. So I can click on copy from layer, or let's say you can click on the field to open the calendar widget and pick another date like this. So maybe I will download data between the 6th and 8th. And then we have this agreement to the license. So you can read the license by clicking on it. So the license is different for every Copernicus service. Okay, so let me check the checkbox once again. And then you have two options. We can click on show API requests to show the query. So this is helpful to download the data programmatically. So we have here on the top, we have here an article coming from our help center. I invite you to read it uh, to learn more about the HDA. So HDA stands for Harmonized Data Access. And in this article, basically we show how to use the HDA. You even have a notebook example that you can download, and then you can follow and change the query to download data via the HDA. Okay. So really, I invite you to read this article to learn more about the HDA. And here is the structure of the query is a JSON-like dictionary, and you can copy it by clicking here on copy, and then you can paste it into your script. So that's quite useful. But you can also download data directly from the viewer. by clicking here on request data. So it can take a few seconds, sometimes a few minutes, depending on the server and the size of your request. And when you click on request data, you are automatically redirected to the jobs tab. So we were here on the layers tab, and here is the jobs tab. So in this jobs tab, you have your previous jobs that you have launched. You can click on this icon to show once again the query. So for example, if it was a really past job and you don't remember what was the query, it can be really useful to open it, to use it. And here we can see that this one is a new job because of this green notification. I can click on this folder icon, and here I see all the files corresponding to my query. So for each of these items, we see the size, and we can click on order. So it will ask the server to download the data, and then it can take a few seconds, and then we will be able to click on the download button. But sometimes for some query, so let me search in my past jobs. Okay, so like this one, we can see in this job that I have many items, and that's when the using the HDA becomes really handy, and that's when we recommend to use the HDA because it can be quite time consuming to click on order and the download icon for every item. So don't hesitate to, for these kind of jobs with many items, to open the query, to see the query, to copy it, and use the HDA as explained in this article. And if you have any trouble or difficulties to use the HDA, in any case, you can talk to us, the user support. We are here to help. So this one is still running. Well, it can take a few seconds and sometimes some minutes, but basically it will show a download button like here. And for this one, for example, I can click on it and the download will start. I will stop it because I am live here. And yeah, that's it for the download feature. So one last thing to wrap up this presentation is the help here on the bottom right. So maybe we can't really see it. I will go here. The help button. So it opens the widget chat. So you have here the home menu. Here on the right, you have the news feed. So it's quite useful, and I invite you to check this news. Basically, you will find the incoming WEkEO events like this one now, and the past events, and also the new features. So it can be really nice to check this news feed. Then you have this help menu. Basically, it is our help center, but here in the contained in the widget chat. So for example, if I want some information about how to download data, I can type download, and here I can find the articles related to the download. I can open the article from here, and I can even expand the window to better see it. But also, when just to show you, when you are on the WEkEO website, you can click here on help and support, and you can visit our help center from here. And yeah, so that's our help center. And same as I've done in the widget chat, if I click, if I enter a download, I will see all the articles related to the download. So I will really recommend to check this our help center. Uh, it is divided into different collections. So the getting started, and then the data viewer. So for example, we have here an introduction to the expert data viewer, and also to the light data viewer here. So that's what I've shown here today, but you will see and you will read more detailed information in the articles. So I would recommend to check our help center. Let me close this tab. So here I don't know why it doesn't show. Maybe it's because of my connection. But yeah, so here you can check and search for an information if you have some troubles or questions. If you don't find the information you were looking for, you can still go here in messages and ask us a question. So please be aware that first you will be speaking to Neo. It is our AI agent. It has a lot of knowledge, and there is a high chance Neo can answer to your questions. But if it can't, don't hesitate to tell him to talk to a human agent. You can ask him in a natural language, and the conversation will be redirected to us, the human user support. So yeah, I think now that's it. And yo, so thank you for your attention.
Thanks a lot, David, for your presentation. It was really interesting, and we have a few questions for you, so we will go to
Yep.
that part. Okay, so the first one being, is it possible to download data products in other projections?
So if I understand the question correctly, I would answer no. We can't, for example, like here in the download canvas, we can't specify the projection. So basically, you will download the data as originally produced by the providers. But I think, and I'm pretty sure even, that we can, once you have downloaded your files, you can change the projection, but it asks for some post-processing. So if you have any trouble to change the projection with your data, don't hesitate to contact us, and even maybe Neo could answer to this question. But so you can't decide in which projection the data will be downloaded, but I am pretty sure you can change it once the data is downloaded.
Okay, thanks a lot. The next question, being a more technical question, what are the expected content and syntax for mandatory parameters enable map step Y and step X of the CAMS solar radiation time series? It's a precise question on a product, so I don't know if you know that.
Honestly, I don't really understand the question, so I don't want to say anything wrong. So maybe come to the user support chat as I've just shown, and we will be able to help you on that. But here live, I don't have the answer. Sorry.
I put also the question on the side, just in case. Um, okay, so next question. So very useful presentation, thanks. Can we upload a shapefile of our study area instead of the rectangle you used to download data like the NGVI of your example?
Yeah, so that's a question that comes often during our trainings. So the answer is unfortunately no, but not for the moment. We cannot import a shapefile to download data inside this shapefile, but our internal team is quite aware that it's a feature often asked by users. And so we hope that this will be implemented in our tool uh, um, in the future, in the close future, let's hope. But yeah, our team is aware of that, and maybe it's already in the roadmap, but I don't want to say anything too promising. So yeah, we are aware that it's a quite often asked feature.
Okay, thanks a lot. The next question. How are the datasets served to the front end? What type of server API is used for WEkEO?
Well, for the viewer itself, uh, I think it's WMS, but I'm not sure of this.
Yeah, I would
But I
say
guess
that also.
to display the data on the viewer, I think it's the web map service protocol. But then to download data, it's the HDA API. So there are two kinds of API inside the viewer.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think we also have this question quite often during the event also.
Okay.
So yeah, a classic. The next question, how can we cite WEkEO and or each layer, I guess, product?
So is my screen still sharing here?
Not for now, but we
Okay.
can cut the
Uh,
question so you can be able to
no,
show
it
something.
was just to show that we have an article in our help center. Okay, so let me share quickly my screen again. So if I go back to the help center, and if I type, for example, sites, I have one article left, quite convenient, and this article will tell you how to cite the WEkEO products. So I invite you to read this article. It is quite short, but basically as I've shown here in the data viewer, you need to read and maybe use each license. Oh, I have an error. Just a few tips because I'm seeing here right now. When you have some errors on the viewer, you can refresh the page. Normally, it will avoid having errors. So let me. Okay, not for now. Maybe I shouldn't share my screen once again. But yeah, basically, I invite you to check our Help Center article. You have all the information in it.
Okay, okay, thanks a lot. We put the link to the article on the chat also. So.
Okay.
Um, Next question, is there a limit to the number of free products I can download and or are all products free? So yes.
Yeah, so uh, maybe I could share also my screen, I don't know, but we have another article in our Help Center speaking about the quota limit. So any project, every project of the WEkEO catalog is free to download. You only need a WEkEO account, but please be aware that there is a quota limit per hour. So basically, it's 100 requests per hour. So I invite you to check this article in our Help Center because you have more details. And if you have other and further questions after reading this article, please feel free to chat with us. But yeah, so all the products are free, but there is a quota limit per hour.
Okay, thanks a lot. Um, This one, I think I also saw it a few times during the event. When I tried to find data in the data catalog, there is a text popping up, error querying the catalog, invalid credentials. What does it mean?
Yeah, well, so like we have seen here with me, also sometimes it could happen that there are some errors appearing. Uh, it's because, for example, as we are speaking now, there are some datasets that are resynchronized, and during this period, it could happen that some errors are popping up on our screen. Um, the error querying the catalog invalid credentials, maybe it's another type of error. So if you still see this error and if it appears frequently, don't hesitate to contact us, and then we will open a ticket to our technical team to solve this issue. But sometimes, like I've just said, also refreshing the page could help because of this resynchronization. But yeah, if you still have this issue, don't hesitate to contact us.
Okay, thanks a lot. And we have time for two more questions, and then we will have to move on. So thanks for sharing. I want to ask about data generated. Is it done on a monthly or daily basis? If monthly, how can I get daily data?
Well, basically, it depends on the product. You have this information about daily and monthly often in the title of the dataset itself. And to answer to your last question, no, if it's a monthly dataset, you cannot get daily data. The opposite is possible. If you have daily data, you can calculate the mean by yourself. But if it's a monthly data, you cannot have the daily data. So I would recommend to search for your product of interest as I've shown during my presentation. And if you can't find your product, once again, don't hesitate to contact us and maybe we could help you.
Okay, okay, thanks a lot. And we will go to the last question about the product you shown. What other variables are you calculating and analyzing? Does that include humidity and eutrophication levels as well?
Um, so myself, I am calculating nothing, but no, yeah, in the catalog, we have, I'm pretty sure we have some data set about, providing data on humidity and eutrophication. I think if you type these keywords in the free text search bar in the catalog, it will filter some results and you will have some data sets left. Once again, if you can't and if you don't manage to find your product of interest, don't hesitate to talk to Neo first. Like sometimes, and no, most of the cases, it knows our catalog and it can help you on that. And if it can't, just come talk to us, ask to talk to a human, and we will be glad to help you.
Okay, thanks a lot. So
You're
that's it
welcome.
for the question. We will have to go to the next presentation, but for the few unanswered questions, don't worry, we will provide an answer in the post-event report. Thanks again, David, for your presentation.